presented by the Department of Education, Division of Pangasinan 2, Tayug District 1. Welcome to Tayug Central School Virtual Graduation Rites 2021. With the theme, Strengthening the Quality of Education Amid the COVID-19 Pandemic. Good day, everyone. I am Marfe.
I am Jehoram.
I know you are all excited today. Am I right, Sir Jehoram? Because this is the first ever virtual graduation we have at Tayug Central Elementary School.
You're right, Ma'am Marfe. This awaited event has never been made possible without the support of Tayug District 1 Supervisor, Sir Renato D. Uniti, our school principal, Dr. Sonny P. Bacalzo, our guest speaker, colleagues, members of the graduating class, proud parents, guardians, and friends. Let us all stand for the preliminaries.
Mga kababayan, ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas. Kayang magiliw, ay masasikatanan, alam ng puso, sa titik mo'y buhay. Lupang binirang, kuyagan ng magiting, sa manluluping, di ka pasisigil, sa nagagang tutok sa simoy at sa langit mong pagaw, ay hinatang tulatawin sa pagkayang minamahal. Ang isang ng matawag ko'y tagumpay na nagtitingin, ang bituin at araw niya kailan pang ay magtitingin. Lumanang araw ng warhabit pagsika, ko'y langit sa piling mo. Ang hinigaya na partay mga amin, at mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
Dear God, our Abba, our provider, our healer, and our safe place, we thank you for we are now at the end of the school year. Though it has been a difficult year for the department, the school, the teachers, the parents, and the learners, we have seen how loving you are in keeping us safe, how magnanimous you are in providing for us and blessing us, and how faithful you are in seeing us through this journey of learning. We pray for the learners that they would be given perseverance and patience to use what they have learned and seek more in the knowledge of you. We pray for the parents that they may be given love, for them to give love and support as well to their children. We pray for the teachers and those in the department that they may be given wisdom to know what to do in order to serve you in their chosen ministry. We lift this commencement up to you, knowing that your blessings through the Holy Spirit will be upon us today and in the known days ahead. This we pray in the name of our Savior, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Katandayongi, Pangasinan niya binabing, Deun mo taniya ligwas, Iuragot ko lawas, Dan puso
tied to the sturdy ends. Men, women, young and old, find hope and glory in this fold. This home of great joy and gladness, of fertile lands and green valleys, nature that captures the eye and soul, who fled the heart of doubt and peace. East to west, from north to south, faithful ones pack and gather at the pilgrim of the north, whispering a common prayer resounding. Mabuhay, mabuhay, Pangasinan too, I sing mabuhay to you. Of men, women, young and old, find hope and glory in this fold. Oh, I sing mabuhay, Pangasinan too.
only teachers who have rendered their invaluable service by guiding these students to the right path, but also the parents who give them the support financially, love, and encouragement in every activities in school. Now, to formally start our virtual graduation rites, may we call the timeless Master Teacher 1 of Tayug Central School, Mrs. Felicissima Aguilar, for the words of welcome.
To our competent district supervisor, Dr. Renato D. Umipig, our efficient principal, Dr. Sunny P. Pacalso, our guest of honor and speaker, colleagues, their parents, graduates, viewers, good morning. Elementary life has been an unforgettable journey that has prepared every graduate for the next level of education. It is therefore the most significant part in life of every learner. For sure, all of you are so happy for finally completing your 6 years of elementary education. Every parent is equally proud and fulfilled of their children's fruit of sacrifices and accomplishments as well. My heartfelt congratulations to all of you graduates for a job well done, and to all of you parents for guiding your children along their learning in this time of pandemic. Your untiring patience and never-ending support to them all paid off. Today's event highlights the grade 6 graduates of Tayug Central Elementary School, school year 2020-2021. My hearty welcome to everyone. It is our great pleasure to have you all today. We hope you will enjoy watching our school's first ever virtual graduation rites. Happy viewing and good day, everyone.
Thank you, Ma'am Feli, for that warm welcome. And now, ladies and gentlemen, you are about to witness virtually the main highlight of this event. To do the honors of presenting this school year's candidate for graduation, may we have on our screen our very own and supportive school principal, Dr. Sunny P. Bacalso, and Sir Renato D. Umiti, District Supervisor, for the conferment and acceptance of the graduates.
Sir, I have the honor to present to you our 216 candidates for graduation for school year 2020-2021, composed of 111 male and 105 female who have successfully completed all the requirements prescribed by the Department of Education for elementary school and now waiting for your confirmation.
For and in behalf of the school's division superintendent, Dr. Danilo C. Sison, and acting upon the recommendation of your principal, Dr. Sunny P. Bacalso, that you have successfully completed all the requirements as prescribed by the Department of Education for elementary schools, I, Mr. Renato D. Umipig, Public Schools District Supervisor, I hereby confirm your graduation and declare you graduates of the Tayug Central Elementary School effective today, July 15, 2021. I therefore confer upon you all the rights and privileges thereto appertaining.
Congratulations, graduates! At this juncture, ladies and gentlemen, may we hear the message coming from our young and good-looking principal, Dr. Sunny P. Bacalso.
Good morning, everyone. When this pandemic started, we are in a state of uneasiness about everything: distance learning, self-learning modules, schoolwork, the future, and everything in between. However, this pandemic has taught us valuable lessons about being adaptable and resilient to what challenges life throws us. I know your heart breaks a little. You did work hard, but you're not going to see yourself walk across that stage. It's not clear to you, class of 2021, how this pandemic will play out. We just know it will change our lives. Everything is at stake. It's this pivotal moment where you will never forget. Your experience will be one of a kind to remember. You will be in history. Of course, most of you or all of you are longing to walk on the stage to receive your diplomas. Unfortunately, you cannot do it. But this pandemic will not stop you to dream for your future. As the saying goes, the sky is the limit. You must spread your wings and soar high. You have worked hard to achieve your goals, and this is not the end. It's only the beginning to seek your new vistas. Dream new dreams, embark on who you are, embracing life with passion, and keep reaching for your star. Although these times may seem bleak, it is important for you, for all of us to persevere, so one day our hopes become reality. Now that we're having this virtual graduation, you will hopefully be the one and the only class that has to experience this style of graduation. Praying that not anymore in the coming years, because we will soon be back in the old normal. I wish you the very best as you start living your next journey, your junior and senior high school life, the dream you have had for several years. Please try to not allow this virus to stress or depress you too much. Life will get back to normal again. We just have to be smart in our personal protection between now and when we have a vaccine and medicines to cure, so people don't suffer as much and for a long period of time. My hope is that each and every one of you will become very successful. Life is precious, and now you will be having the tools, the education to even surpass your dreams and live an amazing life. A well-deserved success. This year has been more than we could have imagined when we started this journey. It may not feel real at this moment, but in time, you will realize all that you have conquered during this situation. So this only shows how strong, persistent, and courageous you are. Although the ceremonial traditions of a graduation is symbolic, don't let life circumstances take away from what you have achieved. So cheers to you, class of 2021. Remember to give thanks always and keep on learning, because that's real growth. The position of degrees alone does not classify anyone as fully educated. Stay humble and don't forget to always look back. Please never forget the people like your parents, your friends, your teachers, and this is school, the Tayug Central School, that help you reach this goal in your life. Please stay connected with TCS and the people who have stayed behind your back just for you to get through. Congratulations on making it through this difficult time. You are strong and capable. Keep moving forward even when life seems tough. You can do great things with dedication and positivity. Congratulations, Class 2021. May you be blessed in your future endeavors. May God bless you and keep safe always. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Bacazo, for that remarkable message. At this moment, may you listen to the message of hard-working District Supervisor, Sir Renato D.
Pleasant day to each and everyone. It's been almost 17 months since lockdown has been declared in the country, brought by the threats of COVID-19. And since then, many restrictions, safety and health protocols were imposed for every one of us to follow. Likewise, the need of us to adapt and live the new normal. This pandemic brought many changes in our lives. We cannot move freely outside our homes. Malls and restaurants and other establishments were temporarily closed. Even the usual opening of classes in schools in the month of June are suspended. But the officials of our Department of Education decided that the learning of the children should not be halted. We cannot take for granted that days will just pass by, that our school learners are not learning. So in spite of the situation, though there will be uncertainties and challenges we will face, School year 2020-2021 commenced last October 5, 2019, with the utmost consideration of the safety of our learners, teachers, and schools officials. From our face-to-face mode of learning, we adopt the modular approach learning, where our learners will do their learning tasks at home through the printed modules. Later on, online learning were introduced, but with its limitations. I know at first all of us find some difficulties with this mode of learning, but in no time, we were adjusted to the so-called new normal in education. I would like to give my unending thanks to our school personnel who have shown their unwavering passion and dedication to deliver quality education to our learners. Also to our parents, guardians, and other stakeholders who joined us in guiding and assisting our children to their learning tasks. Thank you again for embracing the new normal with us. And now, 10 months after, what we have started will end fruitfully. Because today, your sons and daughters, our children, will be graduates and receive their elementary diploma. Our time, efforts, and sacrifices is not wasted. To my dear graduates, this is not the end though, because this is just the start of your new journey as you will enter your high school life. More challenges will come on your way, but be confident enough to face these challenges because with the knowledge, skills, character, and values you've learned and acquired from your elementary teachers and school leader, you can conquer all this and will propel each one of you into greater heights. Looking forward to the day that you will come back in your elementary alma mater, beaming with pride and honor, saying, "Thank you, and I am now a successful professional." To our dear parents, continue to guide and support your children until they reach their dreams. And before I end, may I request our graduates to give your parents or guardians a tight hug and kiss and say thank you. Again, my warmest congratulations to our graduates and to their proud parents and guardians. And a big round of applause to the advisors, teachers of the graduating class under the leadership of Dr. Sunny P. Bacalso of Tayug Central Elementary School. Thank you and good day.
Persistence and perseverance are some of the factors of success of the completer. And to know more about this batch, may we hear from Ms. Arwen Ramos Tuliao, graduate with high honors, with her speech.
To our beloved guest speaker, Ms. Desiree A. Divina, Ma'am. To our energetic and magnificent Public Schools District Supervisor, Dr. Renato D. Umipig, Sir. To our workaholic and splendid Schools Principal, Dr. Sunny P. Bacalso, Sir. And to our teachers, diligent staff, supportive parents and guardians, guests, classmates, schoolmates, friends, a stunning day to all of you. This day marks another milestone in our young lives as we celebrate our graduation day despite of this pandemic. In our beloved alma mater, Tayug Central School, and receive our long-awaited, hard-earned graduation certificate and diploma. According to Ralph Marston, excellence is not a skill, it is an attitude. No man ever reached excellence without having passed through the slow and painful process of study and preparation. If you're going to achieve excellence in big things, You develop the habit in little matters. Excellence is not an exception. It is a prevailing attitude. Excellence should be exhibited in everything that we do. Excellence is an attitude, an unconscious desire to accomplish things excellently that will make us not meet the expectations but surpass them. Today, I have mixed feelings of delight and sorrow. Delighted because I know how happy my fellow graduates are. After the seemingly endless modules, homework, quizzes, long tests, projects, and stress, we still manage to survive it. I remember the saying, we cannot direct the winds, but we can adjust the sails. My fellow graduates, this just proves that what we'll do will be in the future depend on what we do in our lives today. We may depend on other people like our parents and teachers, but at the end of the day, the one who would adjust the sails would be us. I feel much fulfilled because I know I worked hard for this and I always aim for the excellence. Getting here was a bumpy ride, but thanks to all the lessons, the guidance, the knowledge, the joy that everyone shared with me, combined with the values I have learned, I was able to reach where I am now. As I reminisce the past, I could remember my teachers who patiently and diligently taught and helped me in reaching my goals. To my class advisor, Ma'am Christina Quison, and subject teachers, Ma'am Rachel, Ma'am Rosalie, Ma'am Bernadette, Ma'am Feli, Ma'am Marfe, Ma'am Delflor, Sir Jehoram, and Sir Ryan. Thank you for always believing that I could do better and for expanding my potential to be an achiever. You let me learn to open up to new ideas and experiences and intensify my knowledge in all our lessons. And of course, to our school principal, Sir Sunny, thank you for continuously creating an avenue to improve each pupil in our institution in all aspects. You've done great things in our school, and I salute you for that. And now, I know this success will never be tangible without my family. I am forever thankful to my siblings, Zayan and Jennifer, and to my parents, Mama Majen and Papa Perfecto, who are always there for me in whatever challenges or trials I face in my studies. You always have a way to put a smile on my face, and you instill lessons in my head that continuously develop me into a fine young lady. Thank you for supporting me morally and financially, and most of all, to Mama and Papa, thank you for bringing me into this world. I love you both. Penultimately, this journey would never be complete without my friends who helped me push through the hard and tough times in school. To my classmates, thank you for all the sacrifices and time. I will always cherish the memories that we had together. Lastly, I would like to give thanks to the Almighty God for providing me these amazing people around me. I am grateful to you for choosing me to become one of your followers and for guiding me in all my endeavors. I accomplished this because of your divine and guidance and enlightenment. Thank you, Papa Jesus. My fellow graduates, always remember this famous quote by David Frost. Don't aim for success if you want it. Just do what you love and believe in it, and it will come naturally. Again, this is Arwin Tuliao E. Ramos, a proud member of Tayug Central School, Batch 2021. Thank you and congratulations.
Thank you, Arwin, for your admirable speech. Ladies and gentlemen, put our hands together as we witness the intermission number of the chosen graduates.
I got this feeling inside my bones. goes electric wavy when I turn it on. All through my city, all through my home. We're flying up, no ceiling when we in our zone. I got that sunshine in my pocket, got that good soul in my feet. I feel that hot blood in my body when it drops. Ooh, I can't take my eyes off of it, moving so phenomenally. You're more like the way we rock it, so don't stop. And under the lights, when everything goes, nowhere to hide when I'm getting you close. When we move, well, you already know. So just imagine, nothing I can see but you when you dance, dance, dance. Feel good, good creeping up on you, so just dance, dance, dance. Come on, all those things I shouldn't do, but you dance, dance, dance. And ain't nobody leaving soon, so keep dancing. I can't stop the feeling, so just dance, dance, dance. So just dance, dance, dance. So just dance, dance, dance. Got this feeling in my body. Break it down. Got this feeling in my body. Can't stop the feeling. Got this feeling in my body. Come on.
Thank you so much for that breathtaking performance. And now, let us witness the messages coming from Dr. Cornelio R. Aquino, Chief Education Supervisor, CID, Dr. Wilfredo Isindayan, IC of the Office of the Assistant Schools Division Superintendent, and Dr. Danilo C. Sison, Schools Division Superintendent.
Ang ating mabuting tagapamanihala ng ikalawang dibisyon ng Pangasinan, Dr. Danilo C. Sison, kapwa magagaling na pangalawang tagapamanihala, Dr. Wilfredo E. Sintayen, at Dr. Arlene D. Casipit, ang tapat na lingkod ng ating kagawaran, SGOD Chief Dr. Rosalino T. Agpalo Jr., mga pinagpipitaga ng Education Program Supervisors, mga Public Schools District Supervisors, Senior Program Specialist, Education Program Specialist, mga mapagpunyagi at ang ating mga frontliners ng DepEd, ang ating magigiting na mga guro, mga ulong guro at punong guro ng ating paaralan sa elementarya at sekundarya, ang ating LGU officials, partner at stakeholders ng ating paaralan, mga PTA officials na parating umaalalay sa atin sa araw ng ating kagipitan, mga magsisipagtapos, mga completers, at kanilang mga magulang, kapatid at kamag-anak, mga kaibigan, isang mapagpalang araw sa inyong lahat. Sa mga araw ng pandemya, tayo ay lubos na nag-alala kung ang pag-aaral ng ating mga kabataan ay magpapatuloy pa o hindi na. Maraming beses na nagkaroon ng pag-urong ng petsa ng ating pasukan. May ilang hindi na pabor na magkakaroon ng pag-aaral sa paaralan at maraming alinlangan na baka hindi na natin kayang maitawid ang school year 2020-21. Ang school year na ito ay tumatak sa ating lahat. Taon na takot at pangamba. Taon ng pagkawala ng maraming trabaho ng ating mga kababayan. Taon na kailangang ilayo natin ang ating sarili sa iba upang maiwasan ang paglaganap ng virus. Taon na wala ang mga mag-aaral sa loob ng paaralan at ang pagtuturo ay sa pamamagitan ng distance learning o modular na pamaraan. Taon na kailangan ng mga magulang at kapatid ay magtulong-tulong upang mairaos ang pag-aaral ng kanilang anak, ang kanilang kapatid. Taon na kailangan ang internet upang maabot ang mga mag-aaral at mga magulang. Nagkukontento tayo kahit putol-putol basta maihatid lamang ang mensahe ng pag-aaral. Taon na nauso ang salitang virtual, distance learning, SLMs, modules, portfolio making, log-in, log-out, Google Meeting, Google Classroom, Microsoft Teams, Zoom at iba pa. Ito rin ang taon na gawin ang mga magulang na maghintay, pumila at magbalik ng mga modules. 80 beses lang naman ang ginawang pagpila, pagkuha at pagbalik ng mga ito sa mga drop-off points para lang makompleto ang mga requirements na tapusin ng kanilang mahal na anak. Ito rin ang taon na nakakayamot sa paghihintay ng mga guro sa mga nagawang activities ng mga mag-aaral. Dahil marami daw sa kanila ang mahirap magsauli ng mga ito dahil sa samot-saring kadahilanan. Hay, ang daming kwento. Ngunit sa araw na ito gusto ko kayong saluduan at pasalamatan dahil sa matagumpay na naabot natin ang isang taon. Hangarin ng bawat isa na dapat matuto pa rin ang mga kabataan kahit nasa gitna ng krisis sa buhay. Salamat sa mga guro at ulong guro ng ating paaralan sa kanilang dedikasyon at pilit na gawin ang mga bagay-bagay upang mairaos ang mahirap na taon na pag-assess ng kaalaman ng ating kabataan sa panahon ng panganib. Ang mga imposibleng bagay ay naging posible sa kanilang diskarte at pamumuno. Sa mga magulang, kayo ang bida. Kayo ang nagpumilit upang sa bawat linggo ng pag-aaral ng iyong anak, kahit mahirap at mahaba ang pila at mainit ang panahon na umaabot na sa 50, 51 o 52 na natala ng init ng panahon, nagtiis kayo para lamang maiuwi ang mga modules at maibalik ang mga ito sa tamang panahon. Salamat sa walang humpay na tiyaga, pagtitiis at pagtustos sa pangangailangan ng iyong mga anak. Ito ang iyong pinagsikapan. Kahit ito ay mahirap, kaya ang araw na ito ay araw din na dapat bigyan kayo ng parangal dahil sa ginintuang nagawa ninyo para sa minamahal na mag-aaral. Sa mga magsisipagtapos, congratulations sa inyong lahat. Ngunit hindi pa ito ang tuldok ng pag-aaral. Ito pa lang ang simula ng laban sa mas mataas na edukasyon na iyong inaasam. Magsumikap, magtiyaga, at magpasalamat palagi sa Diyos at sa mga magulang na nagsusubaybay sa inyong pagkamit ng pangarap sa buhay. Magpatuloy at maging handa sa lahat ng laban kahit na sa panahon ng pandemya. Subukan pa rin ihakbang ang mga paa sa landasin na medyo mahirap, matinik, makipot, ngunit sa huli, ang tagumpay naman ang inyong makakamit. Ako bilang lingkod ng DepEd at mga kasama ko sa Curriculum Implementation Division, magpapatuloy kami na magbibigay ng abot ng lahat ng aming makakaya upang mapaganda at maihatid namin ang magaling na sistema sa pag-aaral dito sa ating divisyon sa mga sumusunod na mga taon. Kasama namin kayo sa pagkamit ng iyong pangarap sa buhay. Magtiwala tayo sa Diyos na parating tumitingin at nakikinig sa ating daing at handang magbigay ng lahat ng ating pangangailangang pisikal, pinansyal at espiritual. Sa mga araw na mahirap, magsumikap. Sa mga araw ng kawalan, kapit lang sa itaas. Ngunit gusto ko ring paunin natin ang mga katagang nasa tao ang gawa, nasa Diyos ang awa. Ang pagpapala ng Diyos ay sumasa ating lahat. Isang magandang araw po sa inyong lahat.
I wish to convey my warmest congratulations to all of you, our dear completers, graduates, and our awardees of the school year 2020-2021. You all have traveled a long and challenging journey, and everyone worked hard to reach this stage of success. I sincerely admire your remarkable and sterling performance you have shown along the way. Aptly themed Strengthening the Quality of Education Amid the COVID-19 Pandemic, the graduation Moving Up ceremony highlights the care and concern of the Department of Education that amid all the challenges, your right to quality education and to safety from the risk of COVID-19, which has changed the landscape of education delivery, should be given priority. Without doubt, you are now equipped with the necessary knowledge, skills, and attitudes. Continue to strive more. There are lots of opportunities widely spread for your next journey to the road of success. Clearly, they are not far from where you are now. Build a dream and nothing bar you for reaching that dream. Continue to the next ladder of education and venture into worthwhile activities. Not even this public health emergency we are facing today can hamper you from doing it. Remove all your fears, anxieties, and doubts being caused by this pandemic, and with God's guidance and grace, you can overcome all the trials that will come your way. It is worthy to mention that education, in whatever modality it is being delivered, plays a vital role in making a better world. Remember what the great Nelson Mandela had said: education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. Along this vein of thought, I encourage you then to continue taking active participation in attaining such. To all our school heads, administrators, teachers, and non-teaching personnel, thank you for exuding dynamism and working hard hand in hand in your desire to produce quality completers and graduates. Your commitment, passion, and determination to duty have been very instrumental in having quality graduates and completers through distance learning. My heartfelt gratitude also to all parents, guardians, for your tremendous support in the provision of quality education to our learners during these most trying times. Your sacrifices, services, and efforts will surely be forever cherished. Once again, congratulations to all and God bless.
The proud parents and guardians, partners, stakeholders, school officials, teachers, friends, ladies and gentlemen, a pleasant day to everyone. Situated in this new normal atmosphere, we don't have the usual and traditional way of culminating the school year, recognizing the outstanding graduates, and celebrating the success of our children who are graduating today, having hurdled the strenuous requirements of graduation. Despite the hardship, sacrifices, and stressful situation that we are in, brought about by this pandemic, our teachers, parents, and stakeholders work hard collaboratively to ensure the continuity of learning among our school children, using all the available media to facilitate its acquisition. The SDO Pangasinan 2 wish to congratulate our proud graduates, Batch 2021. Our warmest greetings to our school managers, teachers, staff, parents, and guardians who have helped and guided our graduates attain this momentous event in their lives. Graduation is a testimony to the enduring and resilient spirit of the Filipinos for their ability to stand up, to bounce back, and to conquer the odds, just like the ongoing hardship and challenging brought about by the COVID-19 pandemic, through our innate optimism to see the light and the end of every challenges in life. For so many times, we have proven that we can surmount any adversity by sharing a hand with each other in times of darkness and trials. The many challenging moments we have endured tempted us sometimes to give up, but our hearts refuses to be broken by deep distress. We don't lose our hope because of the strong faith we share with each other, even in the most trying time of circumstances. We may be battered, but definitely never defeated. Having undergone a lot of honing and guidance through the patient, loving, and caring tutelage of your teachers, you graduates are now ready to face the new chapter of your educational journey. Life challenges may not be easy, but you have learned at home and in the school that success never comes easy the way we wish it, but rather through hard work and perseverance, inspired by our Divine Almighty, which serves as our guiding light. To the graduates, again, my congratulations. We wish you all the best in your journey towards reaching your dreams and aspirations. God bless and mabuhay.
This time, ladies and gentlemen, we are about to witness the message coming from the Mother of the Department of Education. Secretary Leonor Magtulis Briones.
Good day to each and everyone who is attending virtually present at this time of our graduation ceremonies for our beloved and very precious graduates for the school year which ends at this time. First of all, I'd like to greet the parents and family members without whose sacrifices, whose reminders, and whose participation in the learning process for our graduates have resulted in this combination program. This year, your role has changed drastically, where we've always thought, we've always believed that the matter of educating our children rests nearly exclusively on our teachers and our staff. This time, you parents, you family members, you who are in the households of our learners have expanded your role and contributed to this wonderful day, wherein finally, our learners are graduating in this culmination exercise. So congratulations, because this year has not been very easy, has not been a picnic for our teachers, for our family members, as well, especially the parents, mothers, fathers, sisters, brothers, and all who have contributed to the achievement of our learners at this time. So, maraming salamat at congratulations, parents and family members. Mas malaki ang role ninyo at this time compared to earlier graduation exercises. Secondly, I would also like to greet our teachers, without whose very careful review and careful supervision of the work of our pupils and our learners, this event would not be taking place at all. And so thank you, teachers. Your role has also expanded. In addition to seeing to it that the modules are faithfully followed, the assignments are correctly implemented, and the learners are truly learning. And you have had to deal with new ways of assessing the performance also of the learners. So congratulations, teachers, for enduring, for your patience, for your love for our learners, and your willingness to engage in a way and methods of teaching which are different from those which are used to. Assessment must have been especially difficult for you, especially since you were not able to see most of the time our students in face-to-face meetings, and most of the meetings, of course, were virtual. We'd also like to thank the local government units for their interest, for their cooperation, and for their continuing contributions to the needs of education, even as our children do not go to school. Your donations of material as well as financial resources at this time are most welcome, and your advice has been taken seriously not only by our teachers, by our school officials, but also by our officials in the Department of Education. We continually talk with local government units, especially in times of disaster, in times of great need for classrooms, for space, and for responses to unforeseen emergencies. Thank you, local government units. But of course, most of the congratulatory greetings fall on the deserving graduate. Each and every one of you is truly special. You are different from the other graduates who have passed through the portals of your school. You went to school practically without seeing your teachers, if at all. You went to school with your parents, your mothers and your fathers hovering over your shoulders and seeing to it that you are able to complete your assignments. You are completing your studies at a time when examinations and assessments are different. You are culminating these long months of hard work at this time, even as you have to do family chores, even as you are distracted, and even as your world has turned upside down, and it seems and it appears as if we don't know what the future holds and what will happen next. But you have persevered, and now you are ready to graduate, and therefore you deserve each and every bit of congratulations from us in the Department of Education, from your parents and family members, your teachers, from the officials in local government, as well as in the parent teachers associations. You deserve each and every single congratulatory pat on your back, each hug, virtually of course, and each greeting, which I am sure you are also receiving virtually. I don't know if you will remember this event many, many years from now. I have tried to recall myself who our graduation speaker was when I finished high school and when I finished my college studies. All I remember is that the graduation speaker was someone important, someone who was invited because that someone is supposed to give a message. What was more important to us graduates at the time was the excitement of the celebrations, the happiness and the joy of our parents, the sadness of parting from our classmates and from our teachers, and the enjoyment of all the graduation events that usually take place come commencement day. When I was a college student, we had a series of events which were designed to embed in our minds, which were designed to help us remember and not forget our days in college. We would spend one whole day going around the campus, visiting the classrooms, saying goodbye to our teachers, and sharing memories. We would have bonfires to say goodbye to each other. We had baccalaureate services where we committed ourselves to God and we prayed for guidance when we go out into the world. So many celebrations, and the speaker, of course, is the least important and easily forgotten component of the graduation exercise. Nonetheless, I will exert all efforts to share with you what I see are things or issues which a graduate should remember and recall. I have said that you are very special. You are very different. You are pioneering. There has been no other class like your class. There has been no other graduate like you as a graduating student, because you are the very first graduate of the blended learning response to education in the Philippines. And so you ask yourself, what awaits you in the world outside? You can either work, because the kind of curriculum you survive and underwent as a student will enable you to go to work if you wish to go to work. Some of you will proceed to further studies, and this would be a wonderful thing because there are many opportunities for further expanding your knowledge, for further answering and looking for explanations of issues, events that make you curious, especially in science, in technology, and also in the arts. So you can work, you can go to further studies, and perhaps some of you will settle down, hopefully not too soon, so you can pursue what you really want to do. So today, this is why we call this exercise a commencement exercise. It's not the end of our studies. It's not the end of all our efforts with blended learning, with modules, with floods, with earthquakes, and of course with COVID. It's a commencement of doors opening to you. More doors will be opened because you are a graduate. You can work, you can proceed for further studies, you can help your parents, and you can perhaps look for opportunities to do what you have always wanted to do, whether at work, whether at advanced studies, whether at learning more in science and technology, in mathematics, and in the arts. All of these opportunities are available to you. More doors are being opened. I hope you will select the door which arouses your curiosity, the door which will help you know more about this world, and the door which will allow you to contribute to the development of our country and contribute whatever we can to solve our problems and our challenges. Congratulations once more to each and every one of you. Congratulations to you, parents and family members. Congratulations to you, teachers. When I was chair of the board of Silliman University, each time we had graduation ceremonies, during the baccalaureate and during commencement itself, I would cry. I would cry because you are sending out into the world a new batch of graduates, and we want to be sure that what is awaiting them is appropriate. We want to be sure that they are ready for what awaits them when they select which door to open. And so, we tell you, go out to the world, do whatever you want to do. God be with you, and be assured that all of us love each and every one of you. Congratulations.
It is not complete without being graced by a special person with sincere service and action who will deliver words of encouragement and wisdom. To know more about this person, may we have Mrs. Christina M. Quizon, Master Teacher 2 of Tayug Central Elementary School, to do the honors of introducing our guest of honor and speaker.
A pleasant day to our competent schools district supervisor, Sir Renato D. Umipi, to the ever-supportive and dynamic Principal 3 of Tayug Central School, Dr. Sunny P. Bacalso, our distinguished guests of honor and speaker, graduates, dear parents, ladies and gentlemen. Today, I feel so elated in introducing our guest of honor and speaker. It is indeed a great privilege on my part to do such task. Our guest of honor and speaker has been the successful person that she is now because of her impressive background. She is nurtured with values and virtues by her parents. She belongs to a prominent family for whom we all know. She is the eldest daughter among the 3 children, with her equally beautiful sister, Rafael Zuli. He is a nurse in Australia, and her handsome brother, Ram Ferdinand, who has just finished grade 12 at the University of Baguio. They say, and I quote, that much of a child's development, as well as success in life, comes down to the parents that he or she has. The family that developed and nurtured our guest of honor and speaker is a reflection of her successful parents. Of course, she owes her intelligence and charm from her parents. She is indeed so blessed of having wonderful parents, Police Lieutenant General Ferdinand O. Divina and Dr. Meryl Thea Ali Divina. No doubt that her loving and awesome family is one of her great inspirations. Achiever that she is, our guest speaker consistently managed to graduate with honors, and she was the class valedictorian of Tayug Central School Batch 2003 and the class valedictorian of Batch 2007 of Tayug National High School. A very active student leader as the president of student body government and other school organizations, and likewise the editor-in-chief of the school paper at Tayug National High School and Far Eastern University. She is very competitive that she joined several contests from elementary to college. And for this smart young lady, everything is for excellence. She indeed graduated with flying colors and was the class valedictorian, magna cum laude, at that of Far Eastern University Bachelor of Nursing. Mind you, she topped at rank 7 the Philippine Nurse Licensure Examination in 2011. At present, she is residing in Melbourne, Victoria, Australia, with a successful career. That in 2012, she received the Dean's Commendation for High Achievement, Bachelor of Nursing at the University of Queensland, Australia. In 2015, she took her Master of Nursing in Mental Health. In 2020, she got the Jury's Distinction. Also, she was a recipient of Ian Gray Prize and at the same time the Rob Halls Prize for her excellent performance in research and Best in Legal Research Presentation, respectively. For her current positions, she is the paralegal at a private law firm, and she is the mental health clinician at the Acute Community and Emergency Department. She is currently doing the admissions process to become an Australian legal practitioner this year. Positivity reigns supreme in her. A young lady who is quick-witted, admirable, classy, and decisive of what she wants. She really works hard towards the goal of extraordinary determination. She has a lively personality. She seems to accomplish everything with graceful ease. On behalf of the Tayug Central School, I hereby welcome our guest of honor and speaker, beauty with brains, multi-talented, adventurous, very young lady who understands hard work and has a strong sense of self. Friends, ladies and gentlemen, Miss Desiree Ali.
Hello from Melbourne, dear parents, teachers, distinguished guests, and students. Thank you so much for allowing me to be part of this momentous day. Speaking before you today takes me back to 18 years ago in 2003, when I was in the exact same position as you graduates were, moving on to high school and turning my back on elementary school. Today, you turn a page in a new chapter in your academic career. Take a moment to congratulate yourself as you made it to class every single day. Rain or shine, COVID or not, floods, volcano eruptions, you name it. You all are indeed, teachers and students alike, laden with extra challenges compared to my time 18 years ago. How many times have we heard the word unprecedented since the pandemic started, right? Let me start by telling you about the anecdote of the deaf frog. One day, two frogs fell into a pit in the forest. Their peers who were safe above the ground felt sorry for them, as they knew that the pit was too deep to get out of. So these frogs kept on riveting, saying that it's you already are a nurse. It's too expensive. And the worst comment, you are not white. Competition is tough. Years later, here I am with a law degree, working as a paralegal in family law, which is another area that I'm passionate about. I doubted myself too, but again, I researched, I spoke to people who have done it, and I said to myself, if they can do it, why can't I? What do they have that I do not have, right? So, you see, the voices who are telling you it's impossible are the same voices who are going to cheer you on when you finally achieve your goal. Don't let them hinder you. I'll borrow a quote from Nelson Mandela here. And he said, it always seems impossible until it's done. He's a powerful figure in the anti-apartheid revolution and has moved mountains, being the first black president of South Africa. So, let's get back to the theme, kalidad ng edukasyon, lalong patatagin sa gitna ng pandemya. For my English-speaking friends, this translates to, let's strengthen the quality of education in the midst of the pandemic. When COVID hit, no one knew what they were doing. We still don't know what we are doing. We don't know if the vaccines will end the pandemic anytime soon. But here you are graduating. At a very difficult time, you managed to pull through. Some of you may already know my brother Ram. He is now 18 years old and moving on to college. He is an alumnus of the school, I think. Maybe not, but we video chat sometimes and he complains of back and shoulder aches and how slow his computer is. He complains about having to get up so early in the morning and stay seated the whole day. And he complains about the school requirements that the teachers give him, which he sometimes thinks are unreasonable. I tell him this, when I was your age, I did not know I was going to be working in mental health. I didn't know I was going to become a lawyer. So why study the basics like algebra, physics, Filipino language in primary and secondary school? I tell him it is practice for the real world. It taught me patience, understanding, teamwork sometimes when I had to ask for help from my classmates. It also taught me critical thinking, resourcefulness, research skills, and others. The list is long. My point is, we may all have moved to online learning. Our social interactions in person may have also moved to online and social media and other messaging platforms. However, I cannot help but chuckle when I hear Ram's rants. They were the same rants that I had at his age, and I'm certain that your challenges, though slightly different in the light of COVID, are not at all too different from the challenges that I faced in my time. So keep at it, work hard, go through the process. The pandemic has its certain positive points as well, you must agree. When we all moved to working from home and online learning, everyone was worried that the quality of education is going to be impacted. But guess what? I found that I actually had been more productive in these settings. For example, in the last year of law school, I had 3 distinctions out of 4. One was a distinction. I'll briefly explain the grading system here. High distinction means 80% and above. Distinction is 70% and above. Getting 3 HDs out of 4 is fairly unusual for me. I also find that I've been more productive with a work from home or hybrid setup. This is because I don't have to deal with traffic, and therefore I get more time to prepare healthier meals and exercise because I'm not sitting in traffic 3 hours per day. Now, the circumstances may be different. It may be that you don't have access to a computer or working Wi-Fi. However, these are issues that the system needs to tackle. I am a strong advocate of equality in health and learning. The lack of access to these facilities should not hinder your dreams, but again, keep at it, work hard. My parents came from very humble beginnings as well, and they found a way. My dad used to sell ice popsicles, they are called ice drops in summer, and collect melted candles from the cemetery to resell in November. He talks about this so we realize how lucky we are. Mom came from humble beginnings as well, but I guess this made them the resilient, emotionally intelligent persons that they are today. My mom always takes so long shopping as she has to stop and chat with every person she bumps into. Well, I have my own fair share of Cinderella moments as well, but I'm not going to delve into them for now. But the point is, if you set a goal and keep at it, you will find a way. The quality of education should not be hindered by what is happening around us. Moving online means that you have access to an unlimited, bottomless resource, the internet. And what does that mean? We're closer more than ever. I wouldn't be here chatting with you if not for the internet or the pandemic, right? So what would I tell my younger self if I can speak to her now? I would probably be stressing if I were you. I've always been a stressed kid. I've always been a stressed adult as well. I have moments when I question whether I've achieved enough for my time, and this is where social media has its downside as well. We tend to compare ourselves to others more than ever, more than how we did before. But listen to this. We each have our own phase in life. We all are different. What is good for John may not be good for Mary. There are 7 types of intelligence according to literature, and they include linguistic, logic, kinesthetic, spatial, musical, interpersonal, and intrapersonal. The key is in honing all these areas and finding your passion. So, in the middle of the pandemic, I'm sure that our educational system is still finding its way to support students in all of the above domains and providing access. It is just a different setting, hence the different challenges. So now that you have more time to explore your other types of intelligence, go and hone and explore them. You have more time in your hands. Take time to cultivate relationships as well. Call out online bullying. Keep your communication lines open with your teachers and friends. What I would tell my younger self in your age is this: you are good enough. You are doing well. You have just graduated. You have so much potential and your life is about to unfold into greater heights. Just keep at it. Keep working on your goals. One other thing, don't rely too much on grades as a measure of success. It is the learning that counts. What is it that you learn from this subject that you hate that you will carry on for the rest of your life? You may not need a table of elements to survive life, but you certainly will need patience. I'd like to conclude by stating that my parents have been my role models from the start, and I think they have certain attributes and tendencies that I have inherited from them. Guys, learn from your parents. You may not always agree, but they've had more experience in life than we all have, so they're the best fortune tellers and cheat hacks you can ever have. Walk in their shoes and build your own path. Cherish the moments that you are living at home, because when you're out of there, that's it. You gotta do your own laundry, your own dishes, earn a living. So enjoy being a student. I won't keep this too long as I know what my attention span was like at your age. Go and have a blast and celebrate virtually with the people you care for. Do a happy dance on your screen. And good luck for the rest of your academic and professional careers.
Thank you so much, Miss Desiree, for that inspiring message and for gracing our virtual graduation.
At this moment, In behalf of Tayug Central Elementary School, we would like to give the Certificate of Recognition as our token of appreciation for your invaluable support for today's event.
May I read to you the text?
Certificate of Recognition. This certificate is awarded to Desiree Ali Divina, Registered Nurse, Juris Doctor, Guest of Honor and Speaker during the virtual graduation rites of Tayug Central School with the theme, Strengthening the Quality of Education Amid COVID-19 Pandemic, thereby contributing immeasurably to the prestige and success of the occasion. Given this 15th day of July in the year of the Lord, 2021. Signed, Dr. Sonny P. Bacalso, Principal 3, Renato D. Umitig, District Supervisor.
I am proud to present to you the grade 6 trousseau under yours truly, Christina M. Quizon.
Bench Ace Jubera Bangkod with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Benjo Ferrer. Alec Curvey Arenola Bibat. With honors, parents, retired Police Chief Master Sergeant and Mrs. Alan Bibat. Jules Denmark de la Cruz Bibat. With honors, parents, Mr. and Mrs. Rosalindo Bibat Jr. Janelle Gabriel Bueno Calica, with high honors, parents, Mr. and Mrs. John Vincent Calica. Samir Addison Paguyo Kalimlim, with honors, parents, Mr. and Mrs. Arnil Kalimlim. Giancarlo De Vera, with honors. Parents, Miss Rosemary De Vera. Cyrus Lagi Cabote Dominguez, with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Manuel Dominguez Jr. Lionel Sheldon Ashley Villalba Estrada, with honors. Parent, Mrs. Annalyn V. Estrada. Caleb Francis Bueno Pajardo, with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Michelle Pajardo. Joshua Demetrio Guelos Ferreria, with honors, parents, Mr. and Mrs. Fausto Demetrio Ferreria. Yancy Kendrick Guerrero Juan, with honors, parent, Ms. Jeffeldin O. Guerrero. Victor Zorin de la Cruz Maceda, with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Marvin Maceda. Juan Lorenzo de Dios Marcos, with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Joel Marcos. James Michael Santillan Noveloso, with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Mark Rolden Noveloso. Ryan Neil Dagsil Quinto, with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Noel Quinto. Ike Franco Corpus Rafael, with high honors and BSP awardee. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Franklin Rafael. Martin Gabriel Ambrosio Ramirez, with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Rolando Ramirez. Arius Khalil alias Solis, with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Mario Solis. Alexandra Marie Casaballedo Apillanes, with high honors. Parents, Mr. and Dr. Alex Apillanes. Queenie Bakiring Bermudez, with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Leonardo Bermudez. Catherine Sheena Chinny Bibat, with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Alan Bibat. Ivy Joy Binuya Cabanizas, with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Marvin Cabanizas. Marian Cassandra Laniba Castillo, with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Manolito Castillo. Zarina Charis Claros Fontanilla, with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Reynaldo Fontanilla. Guntang. Jade Lancey Tabor Lobiano, with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Danish Hannah Luis Gavanes Padillo. With honors, parents, Mr. and Mrs. Delbert Padillo. Victoria May Lamsen Palado. With honors, parents, Mr. and Mrs. Januario Palado. Katrina Nicole Casimina Romero. With honors, parents, Mr. and Mrs. Joel Romero. Alia Chanel Castillo Roque. With honors, parents, Mr. and Mrs. Ramil Roque. Janela Mel Martin Sabado. With high honors, parents, Mr. and Mrs. Renato Sabado. Tricia May Makashev Soliman. With honors, parent, Miss Beverly Solimano. Daniela Zerezo Tolete. With Dinah Jody Asuncion Tolete. With honors, parents, Mr. and Mrs. Judy Tolete. Crystal May Totolyao.
I am proud to present to you the grade 6 result under the advisory of yours truly, Rosalie U. Perez.
Braver Arumin Ariola, with honors, parents, Mr. and Mrs. Reynald A. Ariola. Raymart Valoran Asuncion, with honors, parents, Mr. and Mrs. Ricardo L. Asuncion. Cabigoy, with honors, parents, Mr. and Mrs. Michael Honel Cabigoy. Lebron Andrada Candelario, with honors, parents, Mr. and Mrs. Bryant R. Candelario. Prince Carlo Palis Di Dios, with honors, parents, Mr. and Mrs. Francisco P. Di Dios. Zeus Neil Corralde Dizon, with honors, parents, Mr. and Mrs. Fidel P. Dizon. Leander Ross alias Fermin, with honors, parents, Mr. and Mrs. Alexander Bonel Fambuena. With honors, parents, Mr. and Mrs. Wilson C. Fambuena. Lyndon Aquino Galinzoga. With honors, parents, Mr. and Mrs. Lenito I. Galinzoga. Mark Daniel Rolio Galvan. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Danilo R. Galvan. Neon Jorel Asuncion Boto. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Joel C. Boto. Gian Kyle de la Cruz Langit. With honors, parents, Grace J. de la Cruz. Perlin Matthew de Vera Lara. With honors, parents, Mr. and Mrs. Ryan B. Lara. Aaron Ray Corpus Madriaga. With honors, parents, Mr. and Mrs. Raymond J. Madriaga. Emmanuel Pelon Vencido. With honors, parents, Jennifer P. Vencido. Giancarlo Fernandez Paulo. With high honors, parents, Mr. and Mrs. Leo V. Paulo. Ian Neil Nasibal Ramirez. With honors, parents, Mr. and Mrs. Junel A. Ramirez. Tihada Brutas. With honors, parents, Mr. and Mrs. Alfred I. Brutas. Maria Gillen Vitalis Casilia. With honors, parents, Mr. and Mrs. Demetrio A. Casilia. Lovely de la Rosa Clemente. With honors, parents, Mr. and Mrs. Norme D. Clemente Jr. Veronica Joy de Leon Kubangbang. With honors, parents, Mr. and Mrs. Ovencio C. Kubangbang. Darby Imoclino. Rihanna Jane Ramilo Fernandez. With honors, parents, Mr. and Mrs. Argel Joseph B. Fernandez. Jadilen May Obando Frago. With honors, parents, Mr. and Mrs. Jason B. Frago. Rachel May Padayaw Gicaro. With honors, parent, Richelle P. Gicaro. RV Jen Isip Golondrino. With honors, parents, Mr. and Mrs. Ligon Jr. Jaira Jimaima Lopez Lopez with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Hiram Abif R. Lopez. Ken Jerica Salanta Norberte with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Stephen R. Norberte. Ivy Grace Santa Maria Pinlac with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Rogelio P. Pinlac Jr. Jewin Mitch Rosario Sagamla with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Jerome N. Sagamla. Veronica de la Peña Salum with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Bernardo A. Salum. Maria Geraldine Axibal Suitos with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Roldan O. Suitos. Janine Del Moro Viernes with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Rodolfo M. Viernes Jr. Leo Julian Velasco Vitente with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Chofilo D. Vitente Jr.
I am proud to present to you Grade 6 Quezon under the advisory of yours truly, Marquez C. Cabar.
Dimas Winiton Di Pedro Araos with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Mark Jerome C. Araos. Aldred Junganyo Cabato with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Astropel R. Cabato. Mark Daniel Busto Castro with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Joseph M. Castro. Mark Jenry Barroso Castro with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Anthony G. Castro. Windray Garcia Danumen. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Bogstar P. Danumen. John Rafael Cortez Datuen with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Rodolfo Datuen Jr. Lord Cedric Ascanio Gontang with honors. Parent, Miss Mayan A. Gontang. Jari Rivera Habonillo with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Eugene P. Habonillo. Alver Labora. Jubel Mosquito Tolete with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. John G. Tolete. Julius Alan Arguesa Villafania with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Julius A. Villafania. Abigail Cablay Abelia with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Judy B. Abelia Jr. Brianna Angel Simon Alange with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Robbie Julius Alange. Arian Lake Ulep Alonso with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Arthur A. Alonso. Jillian Kate Ferrer Baingan with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Junel D. Baingan. Christine Joy Aspurias Castañares with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Antonio G. Castañares. Hazel Ruth Ferrer Ciscar with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Benvenido S. Ciscar. Mary Fiona Venice Panganiban Cruz with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Ireneo A. Cruz. April Jane Arcaro Cruz with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Ireneo A. Cruz. Rhea Christine Gatchalian Domingo with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Reynaldo G. Domingo. Angelica Monsanto Jusgaya with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Alex M. Jusgaya. Kiara Luis Saturno Lazaga with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Ferdinand I. Lazaga. Lira Angela Lorenzo Letargo with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Angelito B. Letargo. Regilian Jade Dumenden Liavata with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Jessie C. Liavata. Princess Erica Castillo Nunez. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Eric M. Nunez. Zian Flora Oridina with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Julius A. Oridina. Gwen Chanel Rosario Sagamla with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Jerome M. Sagamla. Diana Castro Seriosa with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. June Seriosa. William Joyce Gallardo Soriano with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. William Soriano. Nadia Biacan Tijada with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Rogelio C. Tijada.
James Andre Garcia Abalos with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Andy Garcia Abalos. Romuel Madriaga Asporias with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Leomar Asporias. Chris Lawrence Seriosa Clarion with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Lawrence Clarion. Telly Jason Masampay Costales. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Telesporo Costales. Mark John Masing de los Reyes with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Samuel Davis de los Reyes. Christian James Torres Ponasier with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Luis Manuel Ponasier. Mark Daniel Mamaril Jacob with honors. Mr. and Mrs. Danny Jacob. Kenneth Ruiz Sipayan Ortonio with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Villamor Ortonio. Bon Jovi Abao Paraino with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Jordan Paraino. Mark David De La Rosa Rafin with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Francisco Rafin. Clarence Navarro Sanchez. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. William Sanchez. Mark James Delinia Santiago with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Elmer Santiago. Jimboy Ramos Santillan with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Jojo Santillan. Raven Kurt Bocala Sarmiento with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Eugene Sarmiento. Journey Denver Katubig Sibidal with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Denver Sibidal. Dranrib Jello Haramilia Tumama with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Dandy Tumama. Princess Chloe Patungan Abasolo with honors. Mother, Isabel P. Patungan. Cristel Alaina Cielo Sinubago Agpuon with honors. Mr. and Mrs. Deo Mark Gabriel Agpuon. Cielo Jolie Chauco Alarcio. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Ernesto Lichauco. Eliza Jean Olipas Baquerin with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Lauren Baquerin. Jessa Valdez Cabotahi with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Chufilo Cabotahi. Julian Kate Sinubago Castolo with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Junel Castolo. Marie Bessie Wine Estrada de Gracia with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Fabi de Gracia. Julia Rovina Espirito Liabata with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Rex Liabata. Jenica Rain Agodo Madarang with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Julius Madarang. Dorothy Jan Marsan Milian with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Jonathan Milian. Angeline Sarmiento Norvierte with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Roderick Norvierte. Andrea Sofia Ramirez C. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Andrew C. Princess Graciela Mayrong Tagari with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Sherwin Tagari. Marie Angel Ariola Tapak with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Gilbert Tapak. Crisa Joyce Distual Valdez with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Crisanto Valdez.
I am proud to present to you the grade 6 Del Pilar under the advisory of yours truly, Ryan C. Imboltorio. Gerson Miguel Padilla Angeles. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Joseph Z. Angeles. Charles King Flora Apigo with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Charlie Apigo Jr. John Kelvin Cruz Aquino with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Jonard T. Aquino. Richard Arguesa Cabato Jr. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Richard A. Cabato Sr. Jonathan Valdez Cabotaje with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Chofilo S. Cabotaje. Jason Gabriel Gamboa Caser with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Johnson D. Caser. John Carl Pagaduan Quizon with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Adrian M. Quizon. Elijah Luis Diaz de Leon. Parents, Mrs. Maricris D. de Leon. Angelito Abara de la Cruz. Parents, Mrs. Marjorie A. de la Cruz. John Daniel Rivera de Lizo. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Gregorio P. de Lizo. Nico Anthony Guzman Ponasher with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Dindon Leo B. Ponasher. Jeyus Fedrix Ariola Garcia. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Aaron O. Garcia. Jillian Torrio Gorospe, with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Joel C. Gorospe. Albert Torrecampo Moyano, with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Pilam S. Moyano. Santino Ciencia Padilla. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Juanito P. Padilla. Rafael Prado Pasquin. Parents, Leonard Robosa Ramos. Parents, Mrs. Maria Teresa R. Ramos. John Patrick Cañaveral Rivera, with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Arden C. Rivera. Venjo Boncato Rudico, with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Juanito S. Rudico Jr. Alexis Felixpinia Ruiz, with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Lore C. Ruiz. Tristan Jos de los Reyes Santos, with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Teodoro D. Santos Jr. Dexter Cal Cardines Sermonia. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Mario A. Sermonia. Rasi Riz Roliomas Abad, with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Randy R. Abad. Aizen Canoy Antonio, with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Romeo R. Antonio. Princess Nicole Daliwan Argueza, with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Ricafel V. Argueza. Arvelin Sacosio Ignacio, with honors. Parents, Mrs. Evangeline S. Ignacio. Anika Kim Ingkol Kagawan, with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Ingracio G. Kagawan. Mirasol Lopato Mendoza, with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Manolo R. Mendoza. Angel Cabingo Nolido, with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Joseph S. Nolido. Laika May Pasamonte Oreña, with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Guerrero. Mariam Oreña, with honors. Parent, Miss Marivic D. Oreña. GV Milka Bagcal Orpiano, with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Marvin L. Orpiano. Wilslin Mendez Ortega, with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Wilson S. Ortega. Amor Loren Iliana Pitt, with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Leomar V. Pitt. Nicole Sophie Balala Prado, with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Robert R. Prado. Jonaline Minya Ramirez, with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Angel S. Ramirez. Maui Divina Reyes. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Willie B. Reyes. Diana Joy Fernandez Sungkuan. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Dexter M. Sungkuan. Jasmine Obando Tamundong, with high honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Marlo T. Tamundong. Riza May Gonzaga Binluan, with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Jose F. Binluan.
I am proud to present to you the grade 6 Mabini under the advisory of yours truly, Del Flor Morgan House.
Edwin Fragata Abrugar, parent, Miss Emily Fragata Abrugar. Roger James Aquino Aquino, parent, Mr. and Mrs. Rufino Serrano Aquino. John Jonard Carlos Arguesa, parent, Mr. and Mrs. Judy Ariana Arguesa. Angelo Erpelo Balasi. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Edward L. Balasi. John Dave Damo Bergado. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. George D. Bergado. David Paul Santino Erpelo Cabanayan. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Edgar Lopez Cabanayan. Lance Henrik Vizcarra Castilla. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Eric Castilla. Ashley Ivo de Guzman Dizon. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Rodolfo J. Dizon. Jerome Cardenas Evangelista. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Rolando M. Evangelista. Jeremy Alex Ferrer. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Florentino Ferrer. MJ Apiado Ignacio. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Rico S. Ignacio. Prince Charles Ilana Moore. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Alan L. Moore. Joel Villanueva Prado Jr. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Joel Prado Sr. J.V. Calderon Ramirez. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Brandon D. Ramirez. Gabi Rujo Salagubang. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Gavino F. Salagubang. Majen Golingo Caritativo. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Mariano E. Caritativo. Yonela Chanel Navarro Guluyugo. Parent, Miss Mercedes N. Guluyugo. Owen Mabe Andaya Liagas. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Darwin Liagas. Nica de los Reyes Ramirez. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Joseph D. Ramirez. Eliza Jane Ramos Seriosa. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Elmer D. Seriosa. Ira Crisel Olipas Takason. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Benjamin C. Takason Sr.
May we now witness as we all join her virtually for the Pledge of Loyalty in unison. Miss Fiona R. Cruz, graduate with high honors. And for the singing of the Youth Central Hymn, may we request all graduates to please stand. Miss Lugil S. Adam with high honors conducting.
Graduates, let's all stand up, raise our right hand, and recite the class pledge in unison. We, the members of the graduating class of school year 2020-2021 of Tayug Central School, do implore the divine providence that we may be given the moral strength to hold high the lofty ideals of our new republic and alma mater, to fight for high ideals and sacred traditions of our country, in order to make it a happy place to live in. May God help us.
Graduation is not complete without a graduation song. My dear graduates, please let us all sing with a heart the journey by Leah Salam.
shining on my life, I can see a better day. I won't let the darkness in. What a journey it has been. I have been to sorrow, I have been to bliss. Where I'll be tomorrow, I can only guess. Through the darkest desert, through the deepest snow, forward, always forward I go. What a journey it has been, and the end is not in sight, but the stars are out tonight, and they're bound to guide my way. When they're shining on my life, I can see a better day. I won't let the darkness in. What a journey it has been. Forward, always forward. Onward, always up. Catching every drop of hope in my empty cup. What a journey it has been.
Thank you.
Congratulations, graduates,
Completers,
and to your proud parents.
go forth, grow, and be successful.
A philosopher once said,
Success is not a failure,
failure is not fatal.
but it is the courage to continue that counts.
Mabuhay,
Tayug Central School Batch 2021.
Aja.
Congratulations and mabuhay! Batch 2020-2021!
Toc toc toc, tick tock, tick tick tock tock, tick tock tock tock, tick tock, tick tick tock tock, tick tock tock tock, tick tock, tick tick tock tock, tick tock tock tock, tick tock, tick tick tock tock, toc toc toc, tick tock, tick tick tock tock, tick tock.